DuPont won its proxy fight against activist investor Nelson Peltz, whose nominees will not be elected to the company's board of directors. I'm joined by Ron Orol, senior editor for The Deal. Ron, were you surprised by the result, and was it a complete loss for Peltz and his fund?
Yeah, hi, Brittany. Thanks. Yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise. The two leading proxy advisory firms, Institutional Shareholder Services and Glass Lewis, had recommended that shareholders vote for Nelson Peltz and put him on the board. And this was, a big point of contention between DuPont and the activist. Nelson Peltz being the founder of Trian, the activist fund involved here. And so there was some expectation that the institutions would support at least putting him on the board. He's one of three candidates that the Trian had put up for the board, and so the fact that they didn't was a big victory for the company, and suggests that the institutional investors were not as supportive of the activist investors, and also that the huge retail base had an impact as well.
So speaking of retail and institutional investors, how did they have an impact on the final tally?
Yeah, so there's about 600,000 retail investors and 1,400 plus institutional investors. The institutional investors, represent a large majority of the overall share base of the company. But both sides had been pushing the, sending messages, reaching out to the retail investor base. And retail investors typically vote for management at companies. And this is a company that does not have a lot of, the same level of operational problems, let's say, than a lot of other companies targeted by activists. So it's likely that while some very high-profile institutional investors, such as the California State Teachers Retirement System, supported Nelson Peltz, I imagine a lot of institutions and a lot of retail investors did support the company here ultimately.
So really, who are the external winners and losers of this battle, and what's next for DuPont? Will it be under added pressure to perform?
Yeah, the external winners and losers. The external losers are activists that want to target large cap companies, and now I'm sure all the other big high-profile activist investors, such as Bill Ackman at Pershing, are maybe taking a second thought about targeting a big company, seeing that Nelson Peltz, who's really considered kind of the gold standard among by institutional investors among activists, and Trian, was considered, if they're not able to win a contest, a large company, maybe other large activist investors that maybe don't have such a great reputation among investors won't be able to win as well. The other losers are the proxy advisory firms, I believe, because they recommended to vote for Nelson Peltz to be on the board, and the institutional investors and retail investors said no. And the big winners are large corporations, I think, who are worried about being targeted, maybe can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief after this result.
All right, well, thank you so much. Ron Orol, senior editor for The Deal.
Thank you.
And I'm Brittany Umar for The Street.